Good morning, everyone. Thought I'd make a little video on some of the challenges and things you can do to make staying in a RV when it's cold a little easier. There's a lot of different ways of doing things, but I see a lot of questions asked about winterization and how to prevent freezing, so thought I'd show what I do. Okay. The first thing that I want to point out is we're not in exactly the top of the line Cadillac of all trailers. It's a nice trailer, don't get me wrong. We have about a 35-foot Puma fifth wheel. It does have what's called the 3 seasons package on it, or extra insulation, if you will. A lot of your trailers will have something like that. I don't know if you can see that, but it'll tell you that you have some upgrades. One of the upgrades that it comes with, that a lot of trailers do not, is there is a underskirting that protects or insulates the bottom of your trailer and encases your water lines. That isn't meant for extreme cold, and some of the things I'm going to show you now, even they won't help with extreme cold. Some of the options you can do, I'm going to point at my neighbor's trailer over here. He has skirting underneath his trailer. Okay, those work great. They're also about $2,000 to $3,000 depending on the style you get and the length you need. And it's definitely the best if you're moving camp all the time. A cheap option to get you by is something like I've done. Okay, I just went down to Lowe's and I got this Polypro EPS insulation board. There it is here. Okay, it's about $13 for a 4x8 sheet. It's easy to cut. Simply cut it a little bit above the bottom of the trailer, all the way to the ground, and taped it to the side. That keeps the wind and snow and things from going under it. We're currently camping at about 17 degrees is what it got down to here in Utah last night. We're not freezing up yet. Some of the other things that you can do to make it a little bit easier on you is you can get one of these heated water hoses. They plug into an electrical outlet, they stay warm, they keep your water from freezing. The water line, if you're hooked to city water. And you can see on this side, I've got almost all of my sewer connections underneath that, and it comes out right here for this short little piece. Okay. Our trailer is also equipped with tank heaters, which only heats the gray and black water, not your freshwater tank. One thing you'll notice is the skirting stops there. That's because most of my water lines are actually underneath where the skirting is, and the reason I stopped there is to make a more secure position. What I did to keep some of these exterior lines, like your outside shower, your low point drains, and in my case, I have an outdoor kitchen where there's water lines running to it. So what I did before it got cold, I winterized my trailer, which I'll make a video and show how to do. And I pumped RV antifreeze throughout my trailer lines. And RV antifreeze comes in many different brands. It's usually not too expensive. We currently have the Prestone. Make sure this is not antifreeze for a vehicle. It's RV antifreeze. It's not poisonous if you happen to ingest some. Anyway, so I flushed all my lines of water and got antifreeze into all of the lines. Then just simply hook my water back up, and all of those exterior lines, the outside shower, the outside kitchen, still have antifreeze in them. So even though it's outside of the silver insulation, it's not going to freeze, which helps. Again, I have tank heaters, which only keep the gray and black water from freezing. To keep everything else nice and toasty in here, I do have a regular furnace. On top of that, I also have one of these radiant heater furnaces, known as sometimes catalytic heaters. They're about $300-400 depending on the size you need, but very valuable if you're camping off-grid. Your furnace draws a lot of electricity. This heater does not draw any electricity. Downside to it, it only produces heat in one spot of the trailer. It does very good at radiating throughout the trailer. However, if you have the seasons package, the all 4 seasons package, it will not pump hot air into the undercarriage or through your floor. So we use this to supplement the furnace. That way one's not relying completely on the other. Furnace kicks on less. This tends to use less propane than the furnace does. So by using them together, we get a nice, comfortable atmosphere inside of our trailer here. You have different furnace options. Ours only has a regular burner furnace. Some RVs come with what is called aqua heat. Usually those are on motorhomes that have diesels. They run off the diesel fuel. There are other options called heat pumps, which actually will use your air conditioner as a heater and blow hot air. Now, again, that's nice because it does not use propane. However, it's going to put all the heat at the top of your trailer and none of the heat in the floor where your water lines are at. So most of the trailers I've seen have multiple zones. I'd run one on a heat pump, putting some heat up there, and I would have the other one on furnace, keeping the floor warm. It's all about keeping your lines from freezing, okay? So just some ideas: the heated water hose, the insulation underneath, how to use your furnaces, furnace alternatives. Something else to keep in mind is during the day, if you want to conserve propane, up here in our bedroom area for the fifth wheel, we have the door closed. We don't need to be heating that area. There's no water lines and nobody's in there. The other challenge you have in a fifth wheel with a bed like this, it overhangs the front of the trailer. Don't mind the messy bedroom here. That means that the underneath of the bed gets very cold because there's not as much trailer underneath it. I take that same foam board insulation, this bed lifts up, and I line it underneath it with that foam board insulation. We also have, I don't know if you can see it, on top of the big first aid kit there, a heated mattress pad that when it's really cold helps keep you warm throughout the night. Again, that does require you to be plugged into electricity. Be very cautious about using space heaters for a couple of reasons. Space heaters draw a lot of electricity. If your trailer has an electric fireplace and you're running a mattress pad heater and lights and a microwave and a fridge and all this other stuff off electricity, you might overload your circuit. Best case scenario, trips the surge protector or a breaker. Worst case scenario, it might start a fire. Space heaters draw even more electricity. So one, never use a power strip to run a space heater. If you have to use an extension cord, make sure it is a very heavy duty industrial grade extension cord so that it can handle the draw that heater will pull to operate, okay? Some other options that you'll have, because conserving propane right now is the big ones. You don't want to be filling it all the time. Instead of using the oven, we have an Instapot that we use. It runs off electricity, of course, but it's a great way to cook. You can cook entire meals in it, and it uses no propane. Instead of using the propane burner for the water heater, our trailer has an electrical option. A lot of people don't realize that their water heater can run off electricity because they like to hide the switch. So I'm going to show you. Here's my water heater. I'm going to open this door here. It's kind of stuck closed. And underneath this burner, there's a switch hidden back here. Okay? That is the electric heater for the water heater. I've got the electric element here. Many of these furnaces actually come with that space in there, and you simply have to buy the element and the switch and upgrade it as opposed to replacing your entire water heater. but it'll work great. We don't seem to have any more or less hot water using that, and it doesn't use any propane that way. So other options that you can do, again, being very cautious in the type of cord you use. When it gets sub-zero temperatures, really cold, that insulation skirting isn't going to be enough. Sometimes we'll put heat lamps underneath that skirting at night to let heat radiate up from the ground. Key areas, most of these trailers truly aren't designed to live in sub-zero temperatures, not sub-freezing, sub-zero, -5, -10 degrees. I've done it. I usually end up dry camping. What that means, I drain all my water out, winterize the lines, put the RV antifreeze in. Drinking water is done out of water bottles. For the bathroom, if there isn't a public restroom available where we're staying, you will just simply dump water into the toilet from a gallon jug, water jug, whatever, and then you'll have to drain it out traditional way, hoping it's not froze solid. Okay, I do want to also point out, when being conservative with water in the bathroom, use water. You don't want to end up with a lot of solid waste and very little liquid waste. A lot of people call it the poop pyramid, where you end up with all the solid waste and you pull the drain and nothing happens. Make sure you're using enough water to liquefy the solids that are in there so that they'll flow out the tubes. Some other tricks I've learned: if your gate valves, the drain valves on the gray water and black water freeze, you can simply take a hair dryer, warm them up till the gate opens, and you can usually drain that way. A lot of challenges when working in the winter. Hope some of these tips help. Again, I'll make another video. We're going home for Thanksgiving here, so I'm going to winterize the trailer while we're gone, and I'll show you some of you how I do that and how easy it really is. You can save yourself a lot of money by doing it yourself. Thanks.